homestead. It's been a while since we've done a coffee time on the porch, and that's partly because there's been a lot going on for us.
Yes, it's been a while since we've even put out a video because
Yeah.
life is just moving quite fast for us.
Yeah, had some sort of crazy things going on through the past week or two, and so we just wanted to do this and get you caught up on what's been going on with us, and hopefully we can get our act together a little better and start putting these out a little quicker than we have been.
Some of the things that have been going on is that we were able to have our church group out for a picnic, and we enjoyed having them come out and spend some time. We were hoping to do it before it got too stinking hot out here or before the rain started coming, because in the summertime we get almost daily rains.
Yeah.
Unless we need rain, and then it seems like they don't come to the right spot.
Yeah.
But anyway, we were able to have a good group of them out here and had a good time with them and had way too much food available. But the crazy thing that happened as a result of that was chiggers.
Yes. Oh.
We have chiggers out here, or red bugs, whatever you call them, but we've learned from Living Traditions Homestead, one of their techniques is to use sulfur dust around your boot tops and pant legs to keep the chiggers from getting on you. But we didn't think that this would be a problem, and I don't know what triggered the chiggers, but wow, we might almost lose friends over the multitude of chigger bites they picked up that day. I don't know if it's because we mowed or because they went in places we hadn't mowed or what, but that was a bad side effect from the gathering. But anyway, we still had a good time, and I think everybody enjoyed coming out here, and several of the comments were that it just feels so peaceful out here, and that's what we think, and what we enjoy is just the peace and quiet and away from the busyness of town. So anyway, that was good.
Yes.
So one item.
That's one item, yeah. It's a lot of fun. We had a good time with everybody. And also, we got chiggers too. So
it wasn't just our guests. We got them too. We got them that day too, and I just don't know what brought on the infestation, if it's where we were sitting or what. But anyway, there's a tale to be told there. And several people have given us advice on different products that are available that help them. So it was great for the after-bite market, I suppose, in our town.
Yeah. One of the things that also took place was that we had the baby piglets were born.
Yes, and we have a video on that already.
Yeah,
but
look for the video.
Has been in the past 2 months, I guess. Yeah. One thing that we had planned for the spring going into summer was to harvest the other 2 pigs that we had been raising for meat. One of them was our neighbor's pig that he was raising here with ours, and then the other we were sharing with our friend Kevin and his wife. But then our friend Kevin got COVID, and so that put it off for a while, and then his life had backed up as he was trying to recover from that and do all the things that he had to put away or put aside for that. And then we had it all worked out. This time we were going to send them to a processor in a town about a half an hour, 40 minutes away, and at least get them started with the process. And so we had that worked out. We thought, had a good lead on a good person to do it, and I understand sometimes it's hard to get them worked out time-wise for their schedule, but he had time available to do it. And then the problem was getting a way to get them there.
Yeah, we don't own a trailer. We don't have horses or anything like that, so we don't have a horse trailer. And we found somebody who did have one that we could borrow, but at the time it was they were using it at a horse show about 2.5 or 3 hours from here, and so we couldn't get it here. So that weekend it didn't work out for us to get the trailer. So we had to put it off another week to go the next weekend, and our neighbor was going to drive and pick it up on Friday, and so he did. He picked it up on the next Friday, brought it here the next morning, early Saturday morning, and we started the process of trying to load very large pigs who
into
did
a
not want
trailer
to go.
they were not familiar with. You know, the place that was the log jam, I call it, the stopping point. They came out of their pen pretty well, following food, and we will have a video on some of this, I suppose. But after a while, it just got too hectic to
videotape.
But they came out pretty well. But once they got to the plywood surface,
the ramp,
that's when they put the brakes on, and they would not go up. And when you think about it, they've never been on any surface other than Florida sand their whole life, so it was very unfamiliar to them, and they were very suspicious.
And they were not going to go.
Nope.
And it took us a long time.
Hours.
To get them into the trailer. There were two of them.
Convincing,
And like I said, they were very large and very strong, and they did not want to go. Anyway, but we did finally get them in there and got them taken to the processor and got that whole thing taken care of, and it worked out quite well. So now we have a lot of meat for our freezer.
Yes, what a blessing that is.
Yes.
We were reading about prices going up for meat and stuff like that, and God was good to give us the idea to get this started many months ago, and it's all worked out quite well for us. I'm still have mixed feelings on whether it's better for us to do them here, process them here, or to do it at the butcher. But he only skinned it and cut it in half, and I guess you could say gutted it. That's all that he did, and then Kevin cut it up into the pieces, to the different cuts of meat. But the good thing about this was that he hung it for a day in his fridge, cold room, whatever that is called, and that brought it to a lot better workable temperature than when we did the first one here on the homestead, because it was still body temperature when we were trying to process it, and that did not make for as good a setting for that. So anyway, that's just our take on that part of the process. So.
Well, and we learned from that, and we've told y'all in our other videos, you know, if we're going to show you the good and the bad. So if we do something that didn't quite work out, we'll tell you about it.
So we have plans, if we do the next one here on the homestead, that we will be able to cool down the different sections before we start cutting into cuts of meat. So that'll work. We have plans to harvest our meat bird chickens. We have 8 meat bird chickens that they were supposed to also have been done last weekend, but because of the other delays, then this delayed
that.
And there was also a delay in getting, because it took so long to get these pigs loaded, then the butcher wasn't available to do them that day, so it was another day before he could process them. And then that was another day before we could get to them, which put us a week behind on processing the chickens, because everything was all scheduled out so well, and
didn't work.
The best laid plans of mice and men and all those kinds of things.
But we got it done.
Yep.
We got it done. We enjoy it. We have a good time doing this sort of thing.
We have a bunny story to tell you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so you tell them.
Okay. We had gotten 3 rabbits, adult rabbits, from one of Carol's co-workers. He was just giving away because he wanted to get rid of them, so we took them. And he told us when we first got them that he thought that the female was pregnant. And so we took them home, put them in cages, and I put a nesting box in her cage because we're thinking, okay, she's going to have these. And we left it in there for, I don't know, what, 3 weeks? 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, whatever it was. and she never had anything, and didn't care anything about that box being in there. It was like it was more in her way than anything. So after a while, I just took it out. And another week or two went by, nothing ever happened still, so we're thinking, okay, well, maybe she wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, then, just a few days ago, I came home and went out to check on everybody, and there's rabbit fur all over the place in her cage. And also, I had looked down as I was walking out there and saw a little animal on the ground, and it was
How big?
it was probably, I don't know,
2-3 inches?
2 or 3 inches long, little bitty thing. I wasn't sure if it was a baby squirrel that had fallen out of the tree or what it was, because you couldn't tell at that point what it was. And so I touched it, and it moved, and I picked it up, and it had ants on it, so I started picking the ants off of it, and went over to her cage and saw all this fur inside the cage, and there's nothing in there but her and the fur. And so I ran inside and got Carol, and I said, look what I found. So we both went out there and started looking around and started finding these baby rabbits under the cages, under the rabbit cages. She had them inside the cage, and they were small enough to go through the holes in the wire and fell out onto the ground.
The vertical cage wire is just long enough, the holes are just long enough that they evidently could go through. The bottom, of course, is a small hardware cloth kind of thing, but...
So we started finding these baby bunnies on the ground all over the place underneath the rabbit cages, and we ended up with 6 or 7 baby rabbits.
Yeah.
So we grabbed the nesting box again. Carol shoved it back inside the cage, piled all that fur that she had pulled out into the cage, or into the box, and put all the babies in the box. And so now we have 6 baby bunnies that we are now taking care of. So
and
that
she's
was
taking good care of them.
Yeah.
Good little mama, and their little tummies are full, but
Oh,
they were unexpected to us. It's a blessing to have 6 little bunnies there, and they all seem to be healthy, so that's a good thing.
They are.
Yep.
Yep, they're doing well.
Update on the garden. We've had successes and failures. This is not the year for Hideaway Homestead to grow green beans. We had 2 30-foot rows of vining green beans, pole beans, and we got 1 meal of beans out of them, and those were not really that great.
No.
They were just not good quality beans at all. They were dried out and tough by the time we got them. It kept waiting for more to show up because the vines were doing well. They grew fast, they grew well, and just nothing out of them. But this is the year. We always grow good greens. We've been very successful with greens.
Yes.
But we are doing well with growing eggplant. Not our favorite food in the world, but hey, we're growing it pretty well. And just have 2 bushes, but they're really producing.
Yeah.
And the peas, the southern peas. We had to buy a different variety this year. We started out with Texas cream, and they did very well. I think we got those from Haas Tool, but at the time, I couldn't find seeds anywhere. And then we got our zipper creams, and we have a bed of those going, and we have been shelling peas like crazy, and they are doing so well. And then we've been digging, preparing additional beds for southern peas, and those are coming along very well. Probably we'll have a video on that because we've solved some of our problems about putting things in Florida sand.
Yes.
And these seeds have been much more successful with our new technique. So there's a teaser for you. See about that. Oh, one other thing. We've had people come out to visit us on the farm.
Oh, yes.
And, oh, and also last week, in addition to trying to move these pigs to the butcher, our friend from church, who is a nurse, she came out and helped us get the boy piglets castrated.
Yes.
So that was a very noisy experience. Boy, can those things squeal.
Oh, they do.
Oh, and they were mostly concerned. They did not like being held down.
Held on to,
That's what they squealed about.
Yes.
They did not like being held down. They wanted to be out and about. So
Yeah.
Anyway, so there was another thing that piled up on us, and
Mm-hmm.
lo and behold, she showed up at the gate while we were trying to herd these pigs. Oh, it's crazy day last Saturday. We did not put out any videos.
Yeah, we had it scheduled for her to actually come this weekend today, and everything got messed up like
her
it did.
schedule got changed and ours.
And so she came from work and early in the morning and showed up out here while we were trying to load the other two pigs. Fortunately, she grew up on a farm,
Yes.
and she was actually able to help us get the pigs into the trailer.
Yeah. So
she had
gave
some
us
ideas.
some ideas and advice, and
Yes.
and her ideas are the ones that worked in the end.
It did.
So,
They sure did.
That was helpful.
So that worked out well. So anyway, so shout out to Clem. Thank you very much for your help.
Thanks, Clem. And then Kevin's been entertaining different groups of people out here.
Yes.
Who all?
Well, let's see. We had who came first? Oh, my niece.
Well,
my niece came first. My niece brought her kids out, her little girls out, and saw the animals and the farm and everything, and they had a good time doing that. They like to see the chickens and all that sort of thing, and the pigs, the piglets. Everybody's always interested in baby animals, so that's always a big thing. And then our youngest daughter Kimmy came out and brought her girls. And so they had a good time. Children. That's right, I'm sorry. She has a boy and a girl. After a while, I lose track. Brought her kids out, and
she came twice, actually. The first time she came with just her children, and they came out and checked out the animals and stuff. And then she came again and brought a friend with her little boy, and my oldest daughter. Came with her two younger children, so you had farm day out there and lots of people. So we're hoping to have some other family come by in a couple of weeks. One day my mom drove out here with a friend and came and checked out the place. It'd been months since she'd been able to come out here. So, so that's what's going on here. Also had my father was in the hospital for several days, and so that messes up all the schedules just slightly, nothing earth-shattering for him, fortunately, but it just gets everybody's schedules out of whack when you've got a family member in the hospital. So these are all our excuses or reasons, whichever way you look at it, for why we haven't been putting out videos, but we hope that soon we will be back on track and keep you up to date with what's going on here.
Yeah, it's just another reminder that farm life changes very quickly.
Yes.
And you never know from one day to the next or 1 minute to the next what you're going to be experiencing, and you just have to go with it.
Yeah.
Make the best of it.
Yeah, we've spent so much time this spring with watering, and we need to get set up a better watering system, because standing there for hours with a hose is a waste of time, but it's not, because then we get the produce from it. But we've got to get something else set up for that, and now the daily rains in Florida have started, so that's taking a lot of that burden off of us, and we can actually do some other things.
So if anybody has any ideas about how we can change our watering system,
we've tried
let us know.
The drip tape in the past, but we just didn't set it up right, I think, and with our well system, the pressure was the issue, but maybe we can get that pressure thing worked out and make that work for us in the future. So
leave us comments. Let us know if there's something you want us to talk about, or if you have questions about us or anything pertaining to what we're doing. Let us know. So if any of you have any ideas about videos you'd like for us to do or you'd like to see, let us know. Leave the comment and tell us what you'd like to see. Or if you have comments or questions or anything about us or the farm or anything, the animals, let us know. Just leave a comment and tell us what you want to know about.
Yeah.
We always like those.
We enjoy your comments especially. So.
Yes. Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
I think that's it.
Yep.
All right, so till next time, thanks for joining us here on Hideaway Homestead.